Sculpey color mixing with Design Squad member Syndee Holt. You know, when I looked back in my older files to prepare for this video, I discovered this is actually the 10th anniversary of me formally doing New Color Tuesdays. And I want to point out one thing. There's a number of fantastic artists who teach the science of color. That's not what I do. I'm all about finding the personality, the flavor of each individual color, and how it's going to interact with all its family members. For this video, I get to use my favorite, Souffle. So let's get started. Okay, stepping into my clay Wayback Machine. This is one of the first kind of mix things that I found in my files. And here's an earlier evolution when I started mixing with the brand new souffle, and I was checking to see how the Mai Tai colors trended, mixing with all the other colors in the souffle. And here's another little color mix experiment from 2015, mixing souffle 4:1 with Primo Gold. And notice this is shot on a white background. Really hard to get accurate colors on a white background. We'll change that as we move along to an 18% gray background. In 2016, I really mixed it up and would color match to images that I found online or my photographs. Here's a project I found from 2016, mixing souffle with Primo Gold and copper. And for the third one, I just mixed everything with cinnamon because I loved souffle cinnamon at the time. And the bottom color, the larger circle, is the actual color I'm mixing with. A couple quick tips here before we start. I almost always work on a number 3 layer of clay. I even make my earrings on a number 3, and it's on the patty paper here right now so that I don't mar my background. Now I'm going to use a circle cutter for this, and if you have a circle cutter like this that has a seam in it, I want to show you something. If you put it on your clay and spin with that seam facing forward, press down and spin. When you remove it, there's going to be no little hitch in the side of that circle. You're going to have a nice clean circle. So just a reminder, you can use any shape cutter you want to, whatever's handy at the moment. Just make sure you use it for all the colors you're trying to mix. The other thing that's really important, see the pencil up there? I immediately write a note of what the mix is that I'm using, especially if I'm doing a tricky color match. And then I can go back and also keep a list of what your abbreviations is that you use for the colors. It's kind of tricky when you look back 10 years later and try to figure out what that abbreviation means. Thank goodness I found my list that I had my abbreviations on so I could be more accurate with this. A quick photo tip here. You see I'm shooting on an 18% gray piece of scrapbook paper here. You can buy it in a whole stack, 8.5 by 11. The reason is because our phones and even our handheld cameras are still calibrated to 18% gray, just like my old Calumet handheld meter was 40-something years ago when I was in photography school. And that's the reason why if you shoot on a white background, your colors are going to look dark. And if you shoot on a black background like black velvet, oh lordy, you see lint you never saw before because it's trying to meter that to 18% gray. And we want accurate colors of our clay. So start with something close to 18% gray. I like to go into Photoshop and make myself a copy of the current color spectrum of souffle that Sculpey has on their website, just so that when I'm color mixing, I'm sure that I'm using the right names on the colors. And in a sec, I'll show you the version I have that has the all-important abbreviations for the colors on it. And here's a quick look at my list with my abbreviations on it, so I can make sure that I'm trying to be consistent throughout the years with my notes. When I bring a new color into my color repertoire, I like to do a quick mix with opposing colors. For instance, ivory for the light color, and here I have poppy seed for the darker color, mixing with pumpkin, which of course is a regular color, but I wanted to see what would happen. And you see I have 1-to-1 mixes in the middle, and then at the bottom I have 2 ivory, 1 pumpkin, just bringing up a lighter color, almost in a skin tone. And over in the bottom right, I have 3 pumpkin, and 1 poppy seed. The PS is poppy seed, which gives me a nice deep brown, don't you think? Sometimes an easy one-to-one mix isn't the color you're looking for, so you have to try some other mixes to try to figure out which way you want to go with it. And you can see here I'm starting with a sea glass and a canary. Here's my one-to-one mix. Here's my 2-to-1 canary and my 4-to-1 canary, my 2-to-1 sea glass and my 4-to-1 sea glass. Now, it could be one of these colors here, but this is also showing me the relative strength of the color and where I need to go to next. For instance, I might need to add a igloo or an ivory to my canary mix, or consequently a concrete or a poppy seed, a tiny bit of poppy seed to my bottom one. But it is going to show me where I need to go in my next mix. And of course, I keep my scraps. Here's another quick example of mixing with the light tones to see what you're going to get. When I was obsessed with souffle cornflower, which lasted quite a while, and I still kind of have it, I mixed it with latte, ivory, and igloo because I wanted to see what sort of pastels I would get with it. And as you can see, I got quite a range of them from the warmer, lighter blues with the latte and the ivory to the cool tone of the igloo. I got a little obsessed with concrete, which you'll notice is just like my 18% gray background, right? So I mixed it 1-to-1 with latte, ivory, and igloo. And look at those gorgeous neutral colors. I love those colors. That's some class color palette right there. And I can't wait to show you what I did with the scraps from this. And I'm going to go back and mix these and do a whole line of earrings, I'm sure. I used the scrap pieces left over from my concrete and ivory and my concrete and igloo mixes to create these earrings, and then used my etch and pearls to add just a little bit of concrete pearls to them and bake them. And I love these earrings. I can't wait to wear them. Well, I did warn you that I got a little obsessed with concrete, again, which disappears on my 18% gray background over there on the right. But look at these color mixes, the yellow ochre, turnip, cornflower, pistachio, and cinnamon. I love these colors. What a great way to just step those colors down a little bit. Oh, I just love them. And obviously, I really like the yellow ochre concrete mix and the cornflower concrete mix. Because that's what I made my earrings with. And that's my favorite fat rectangle that I cut out the background with, and then use my circle cutters and my etch and pearls to do the rest on the earrings. Love that color combination. Can't wait to work more with these colors. So this is a quick copy and paste I did in Photoshop to show you all the different color combinations I came up with. I timed myself in 2 minutes. Look at that. It could go on forever. Before I go into my next segment, I just wanted to show you this quick mix that I randomly did. It's pistachio raspberry 1-to-1, and it makes this beautiful reddish orange color. And of course, I had to make a pair of earrings featuring one of my transfers and some little spots of gold on it. I love this color. I can't wait to do some more work with it. So I mentioned before that I like to make pendants out of my scraps from my New Color Tuesdays. And this is just my, what do I call this, my red-yellow collection. I also have the cool tone collection as well. And I love these things. They're so versatile and so light. I can wear them with just about any pattern or any style. Yay, now we get into one of my favorite parts, color matching specifically for your clothes. This is an old screenshot I grabbed from a TV show I did years ago. And normally on the show, we wore 3/4 length jewel tone shirts. I had worn this shirt in for prep, and they said, go ahead and wear it on the show. Now, I had actually bought this shirt. It stopped me in the store because I realized the background of it was a new color that had come out from Sculpey called Rhino Gray and Primo. And I was so fascinated with the greige gray of it, I had to buy this shirt, right? And that's what launched the color matching for me. So once I realized that I could actually literally match my clothing. And I wear a lot of bright colors, a lot of prints. I really got carried away with it. I'm starting with this one because this is one of the new Color Tuesday leftover pendants that I had that went perfectly with this dress that I had without overwhelming it. It's got a lot of the color tones. This one also goes really well with a solid sage color dress that I have as well. So still working with solid colors is a necklace that I created for this particular dress using just simple round balls and my hishi. And I've worn it also with a lot of my solid color t-shirts. I do have a few solid colors in my t-shirts, but I've worn it with my printed ones as well. This is a souffle mokomegani pendant that I had made a couple years ago. Added some beading on the bottom and a suede cord on it. And I'd used it with a couple solid color pieces that I had, probably shirts. And then when I bought this rather loud patterned shirt, I needed something to wear with it. And I was going to make something with black and white and maybe some of the colors in between, but then I realized this pendant went with it perfectly. And it was kind of serendipitous that I could wear it with the patterns in there and I didn't have to use just a solid color shirt. Oftentimes when I'm designing for clothes, I don't try to just replicate patterns. I try to replicate maybe the style of the fabric. Like this looks sort of like a batik print. So I just use simply souffle cinnamon and ivory and a rubber stamp, and then of course did the satin slice on it to create the basic textures. And then the earrings in the middle is where I took the pieces that I sliced off and put it on some scrap Primo clay that I had that was a mix of 18 karat gold and pale blue. Works for me, and I love them. Filming this color mixing video has inspired me to take on a challenge that I've had for a while, this gorgeous batik shirt that I bought. And so you see I've pulled out some colors here. These are my basic starting colors. From the top we have souffle yellow ochre, and then we have latte, canary, sea glass, concrete, ivory, and in the center, cowboy. Now, I'm going to show you some of the mixes that I did for this, trying to kind of capture what's going on in this gorgeous batik print. So out of all the multitude of combinations of colors that I could have mixed with the latte, yellow ochre, cowboy, sea glass, and canary, these were my favorites. There's a latte cowboy mix, a canary concrete mix, which is kind of a neat green, a canary latte mix, and a sea glass concrete mix. And I'm going to go ahead and make my hishi with these, and then we'll put together the necklace. Alrighty, once I've selected the colors that I want for my shirt, I need to remix the colors to give me enough to use for my hishi. You'll notice on the photo in the upper left that I have, of course, the original circles of color and the ball. I needed about double that, so you see that I have 2 circles of canary and 2 circles of concrete. That's what I used for this. But more importantly, do you see the little yellow one that says number 2? This is my layer guide. I have all the layers of my pasta machine on there, and I always take a photo to show me what layer I rolled these on, so that when I look back and remake something or I write a tutorial, I can make sure that my information is accurate for you. And then over on the upper right, you see there's my about 1-inch color mix ball right there. And I'm going to stick a double pointed size 0 knitting needle through that and roll it out like you see there on the bottom left. Once those are fired, you just pop it off the knitting needle with your pliers, and it is so easy to slice the souffle. They do fly on you, so like put a towel or something in your lap to catch them. And here's my finished necklace. I think I did a really good job of matching the colors, but also matching the style of the shirt as well. And I really kind of like the freshwater pearls in there with the hishi. And of course, I just made simple earrings because I wear these kind all the time, and so do all my friends. And since I had some leftover color mixes and colors, I did a little mocha megane and made several pairs of earrings here that are currently languishing on my assembly desk there. And with the souffle color palette, you really can't go wrong when you combine these colors like this. And that thing on the upper right there is a ring, and I'm going to show it to you in just a sec. So here's my little scrap ring that I made. I'm fortunate enough that the smallest circle cutter in the Sculpey set almost fits all the way on my ring finger, so I can use it as a mold just to wrap strips of scrap clay around it like this, and then I fire it on there and pop it off. They're pretty sturdy. I'm surprised that they last so well. I have one that I've had for a couple of years, as a matter of fact. Kind of fun to make, too. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. These are some of the color mixes that happened when I created this video, and I decided to cure them all together because I just so like the color combinations. And I think I'm going to mount them on one of those wooden cradle boards, probably with an 18% gray or similar painted background, as sort of a commemoration and a celebration of all the different colors that we can create using Sculpey Souffle and Polymer clay to just color our world, right? I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it. And I'm ending here with a shot that has both souffle and primo in it because, of course, you can mix those two together. And I love to do that, particularly with the metallics. And I'm looking at this pile here, and I see that not all of these got turned over. You can see my mixes on the back. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to tell you that you can actually write on raw souffle with a Sharpie. So you can write your color combination, your mix combination on the back before you even fire it. Don't forget to keep your notes on that, and don't forget to make yourself a key of what those abbreviations are so that you can look back in 10 years and know exactly what color you were mixing with. I had a great 10 years mixing. I hope to have another 10 years of mixing for you. And thanks a lot for watching.